Hey there, welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. My name is Koosje Koenen and I love drawing. And on this channel I share my ideas. Hopefully I can inspire you and we get together on this creative journey wherever you are on the path. And today I want to address something that I've been doing for quite a while now. It's become a little bit of a ritual maybe, or a habit, I don't know. Whenever I start a sketchbook, I crack it open and the first pages or the first page, I draw my hands drawing. And I get questions about this. How do you do this, Koosje? Do you take a picture and then draw from the photo? Do you draw your right hand with your left hand and the other way around? No. I will show you how I do this. Let's dive in. I am using a Fabriano Venezia book, which is 200 grams paper. I'm using my Sailor fountain pen with fude nib, watercolors, and a water brush. So usually when I do this, I start drawing the tip of my pen, and from there I move on to the hand holding the pen. And I keep going back to basically where I started so that I slowly build up the shape of the hand. And yes, the hand is moving and it's changing position a little bit, but still you can keep drawing it. I also draw the pen that the hand is holding, of course. And now my hand is off camera, but you can imagine. I just keep looking at my hand, keep going back, also filling in the gaps. So now I'm looking inside of that sort of hole that the fingers are making. And I'm making it super wobbly and wonky. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. So let's move on to the other hand. Now that I have that one in, the other hand will be easier because it's staying still. So if you want to warm up first, you can of course start drawing your non-drawing hand. That might make more sense, but I just dive in with the hardest bit just to get it over with, and because of the thrill of it, maybe even. So this feels a little more relaxed, but still you have to keep concentrating and focusing on the wrinkles and the proportions and the details, but not too many details. It might not be super smart to start with the right hand side because you might smudge part of the page, and I often do so, but it's just a drawing, so I don't really mind that much. Now, if you're done with drawing your hands, you can also give it a little bit more context by drawing the sketchbook, for example, or drawing a frame around it, or just have some fun with that. Now that you have actually drawn the hand, everything feels a little bit easier, right? So I'm also drawing the clip and adding some extra lines to indicate that there's the pages in the sketchbook. Oh, and see, I already smudged my line there on the right hand side. So maybe I can fix it by extending. Okay, that looks weird, doesn't matter. It happens. Don't be too precious about your sketchbook. Let's keep going and let's add a little bit of color here. You can also see that the proportions are kind of off. The left hand is bigger in proportion to the right hand. But again, who cares? I'm using Italian burnt sienna from Daniel Smith. That usually does the trick for the color of my hands. It's a warm brownish, and if you dilute it enough with water, it kind of feels like a skin color. And of course, every skin has its own color, but this works for my skin. That's what I discovered throughout the drawings that I did. So adding more, a little bit darker, with a little bit less water in that darker bit, and I keep going. This paper is not watercolor paper, but it does take watercolor. And what I do now, I keep this brown that I already have and I'm adding some blue to it so that I get this warmish gray. It has a little bit of a purple vibe to it, and I kind of like that. I'm looking at my hands and I'm looking at the shadow they cast. And of course, as I said, I am smudging the paint more than once. I decided to film this today for you because just this weekend I had a very fresh, luxurious manicure. So there isn't really a better timing for doing this drawing, right? Mixing the right kind of red, and I'm leaving white space to indicate that there's reflection on the shiny nails. And then I want to add a little bit of blush to the skin. Oh, and of course now that red is actually bleeding because that was still wet, giving the darker bits of the hand just a little extra shade of that brown mixed with some red. I'm looking at my hands again to see where the darker bits are. Adding another layer of gray in the darkest bits, some drop shadow, and I think that might be it, except for maybe the tip of that pen. That needs a little sparkle, bright yellow. Now this needs to dry a little, and of course I am kind of impatient. There's this beautiful white space on the left hand side, so that's where I want to add a little bit of writing. And what I will do is just write the description of this drawing. Hands, drawing manicured hands. And I am writing the first word quite big so that I can fit in the other words in the same width as the first word, so that it becomes kind of a graphic element rather than just a note. See, it's a rectangle of words. And of course, I smudged the red paint, which hadn't dried yet. So what I can try and do, but it's really tricky with red, is pick up a little bit of that paint with a clean brush. But then also you need clean fingers, which obviously I didn't have. So it's smudged now, and that is how it is when you're playing in your sketchbook. Embrace the wonkiness, embrace the mess, and just enjoy exploring. Don't be too precious. It's just a sketchbook. Just have fun. So yes, it is kind of tricky because your drawing hand is moving, but if you just take it easy, keep breathing, you'll just have a lot of fun. And yes, you might end up with a wonky drawing of wobbly hands, but isn't that just part of the fun? I think so. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And you get to know your hands. Just like when you are drawing selfies, drawing your own hands is one of the best ways to break into a sketchbook, to break the curse of the blank page, and to practice. If you don't know what to draw, your hands are always there. And they're always interesting to draw and challenging enough. So if you want an assignment for this week, well, it's quite obvious. Go and draw your hands. Draw them while you are drawing. See how it goes. Have fun. And of course, if you want more assignments, tips, tricks, inspiration, and thoughts, discussion, and maybe a community to belong to, then check out my Patreon page. There's different tiers. You can sign up to become a member. I would love it if you do it. You will support me to keep on making these videos here on YouTube for free for everyone, and you'll get some extra perks. Okay, thank you so much. I'll see you next week. Bye.